How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Make Money Trucking, and we're here with my DD15 on my 2011 Freightliner Coronado. So I wanted to go over a gasket, how a $10 gasket ended up costing me about $5,000 in fuel injectors. So as you can see right here are your fuel injector pass-through gaskets on your high pressure fuel line. So on another truck that I had, this is on a 2012 DD15, same motor, these started to leak and I started to get a little bit of oil or fuel on the side of my motor, and it was actually this very back one right here. It's actually this one in the very back one that started leaking. So unbeknownst to me and unknown to me, what I ended up doing is I unbolted the gasket and I cracked open the fuel line. Now after I cracked open the fuel line, I basically had to go deal with the driver. So I left for a few hours, came back, and then I replaced the gasket, and then I bolted the fuel line back together. But the problem is me not knowing the proper procedure, I left this fuel system open and air got introduced into the system. So basically I could not get the truck to prime. I had a guy come out, we properly primed the system. He actually used they actually, on some of the service trucks, they actually have an air compressor that they run a line to force air in. And what had happened, since I had air that got introduced into the system, I dropped a fuel injector. Now I am used to work on a Detroit 60 series, which if you introduce air into the system, you just got to prime it and, you know, spray a little ether, you know, get it primed, and you're good to go. On these, since they're electronically controlled injectors, what happened is I actually I dropped an injector when I introduced air into the system. And when that happens, unfortunately, on these Detroits, they don't tell you which bank of which injector is bad. It just tells you that there's a bad injector and you have to replace all 6 of them. And those are about $700 and something a piece from Freightliner, which surprisingly enough, replacing actual fuel injectors is not that difficult on this truck. You don't have to, you know, remove a Jake brake bracket. You pretty much just undo the top cover, and you undo these electrical connectors. It's not a very difficult job, but it ended up costing me about $5,000 to $6,000 by the time I had to call the service guy out to prime it a second time, and then to do the diagnosis the first time to realize, oh hey, you dropped an injector. So what I could tell you guys, my advice is, do not crack the fuel system on these DD15s, DD13s, or DD16s unless you absolutely have to. At all costs, do not crack open the fuel system, because just leaving this thing open for a few minutes too long introduce air into the system and end up dropping one of the injectors, and then that ended up costing me, you know, $5,000 to $6,000. So yeah, this little gasket here that's $10, because I left the system open too long, ended up costing me about $5,000 to $6,000. So all right guys, well hopefully you found that informative and you don't make the same mistake I did. So by all means, do not crack open your fuel system on a newer Detroit DD15 if you don't have to, because then it might cost you $5,000 or $6,000. And I talked to the Freightliner dealership and they said, you know, unfortunately this happens a lot more often than you would think. Now going back to this motor and the Detroit 60 series, the Detroit 60 series, when you drop an injector, it'll tell you which injector it is. On the DD15s, it does not tell you which injector it is. So I'll link a video above of why the Detroit 60 series is one of the best diesel engines ever going along with that, how it tells you which injector is bad, so you just replace that injector. All right, guys, hopefully this is helpful. Please like and comment down below if you've had this happen to you as well in the past, and I will see you on the next one.